Hello traders, welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 188. You know what we're going to be doing in this video. We're actually going to have a monthly outlook and setups because happy April. It's the 1st of April today, and we're going to be having the monthly candle closure, which actually hasn't closed yet, but pretty much on Monday it's going to close and the new weekly candle and the new monthly candle is going to print. So pretty much we can already do this analysis. And you know what I do every single month? I give away access to my private program that consists of 2 amazing courses with over 150 hours of content, amazing trading community, one-on-one sessions, and everything that is designed to take your trading to the next level. And this month the winner is Mr. Poe, who has been here for an extremely long time, always leaving meaningful comments and also very funny, which I really love about Poe. So congratulations, Poe. Looking forward to welcoming you in the Fanatic team and really actually showing you what we are doing inside. In the meantime, if you're new to this channel, it's all about trading. I share these weekly outlook and setups every Saturday, and once per week I share an educational piece of content or a trading setups breakdown video. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on the notification bell in order not to miss when a video comes out. And if you already did, let's not waste time. We have a lot to cover. Let's jump into it. As always, we're gonna get started with a Dixie, have a look at what the dollar is doing, and currently we have a lot of, again, uncertainty, a lot of moving factors, again, inflation, interest rates, the Fed. We also saw that like the major economies like China, India, and there were some others, they're starting to actually decrease their US dollar reserves, which could potentially drop the dollar heavily. So very interested in what is gonna happen. First of all, let's check out the economic calendar. Next week, it's mainly the Aussie week. So we're having a rate statement for the Aussie. Monday, we have a couple of PMIs, which is great, right? But I wouldn't expect a lot of movement, maybe for the US PMI. Tuesday, we just have RBA interest rate. Then on Wednesday, we have again interest rate. Oh, that's for New Zealand. Yeah, so we have Aussie, New Zealand. And then again, we have a couple of services PMI, employment change right there. Thursday, again, Aussie news, right? Nothing for Euro, nothing much for the US as well. We have unemployment rate for Canada, and then Friday is Good Friday, right? So we're having Eastern week, and probably again could be a little bit slow. I don't think so. Usually, again, on bank holidays, you say, the market is gonna be slow. That's when it moves the most. That's what I have spotted, right? And also in the summer, you say, everybody's on the beach. No, the market massively moves in the summer. So let's get focused, right? Monthly candle. So again, as you know, we took out this liquidity right there below this little low. The market massively reacted from it. But again, if it was gonna go bullish, the next monthly candle should have printed bullish. But it did not, right? We're having a very nice bearish candle. It's not an engulfing candle. It's a nice kind of wick on top that actually took out the previous monthly high. And then it started rejecting. So I see a lot of bearishness coming in on the monthly candle. But again, can I say that the next month is going to be bearish? Well, there is a high chance for it. But again, if you just look at the monthly time frame, we reacted from the 50%. But again, we don't have any zone on the left, which is what makes me think that we can actually go a little bit deeper. So where is the next zone? Well, that is a little bit tough to figure out. Like there is definitely a zone right there. There is definitely like a little bit of a base right here, because you can see like the candles have bearish candle, indecision, and that is where we started rolling, right? So can we see the dollar go all the way to 98, all the way to 92? So 92 is very far away. I wouldn't really call 92, right? But I would expect, and I would say it's reasonable and it's logical for the market to actually make another bearish month, okay? But first, there is something very important right now as we start doing our top-down analysis. As you can see on the weekly time frame, according to me, so again, guys, I get asked a lot, like, what is the difference between a liquidity gap and a structure break? To me, there is, I don't want to say there is not a big difference, but I'm only going to say that this break right there was a liquidity gap if the market breaks the low, okay? Because you cannot say that this is a liquidity gap before it actually breaks the structure in the opposite way. And of course, you can say this because you can see it took it out and then massively started rejecting. So it definitely looks like a liquidity gap. But until the market breaks the major higher low, which in this case, it's this guy on the weekly, then we're still bullish. Why? Because I take wicks as breaks. That's how I do things, right? So you can take bodies, then you can say, okay, for the market for me is still bearish, which again is even better because we're having this overall bearish sentiment right now. So you can definitely focus on shorts. But I'm going to be really careful to see what is going to happen within this higher low formation right there in the weekly. Okay. Weekly candle is an inside bar. So when we have inside bars, I usually take the high, I take the low, and then ask the question, okay, what is logical? Where could the market potentially go next? Well, again, having a look at the overall bearish sentiment, it looks more logical for us to go and take out the previous weekly low, right? Making our way to the daily, you can see the daily this week was not amazing. So we opened on Monday, again, bearish, bearish, chop, bearish, reaction, okay? The thing with the daily is that it's extremely bearish right now. So we had this break of the high, break of the low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So it definitely makes complete sense for the market to actually go on and make a new daily lower low. Okay. So I always hate to predict like this and to say like this is gonna happen, this is what makes sense. Because again, guys, we never know. The market could open on Monday and it can do this. Right? So we don't know. Okay, but again, daily is bearish right now. We have this overall monthly bearish sentiment. So I'm kind of getting the feeling that the dollar could actually eventually turn bearish and come and revisit some of those lower regions. Like let's say break below 100.8 and then go towards like 99, 98, these sort of levels. If you look at the 4H, so the 4H is a bit tricky because according to me, the 4H had a breakout structure down there. Eventually, it had a trend change right there. And what is the strong low? Well, it's this guy. Okay, so what we have so far is internal price action all week right there. Because again, according to me, this is the low and this is the high. Oops, I took the wrong two. Low, high. We're below 50%. And right now, we again came to react from the very extreme right there. Like if you draw this very extreme level right there, which is pretty much what caused the trend change, this is where the market is reacting right now. So the 4-hourly time frame is also very tricky because it's bullish, right? Similar to the weekly, we're having this overall bearish market overall, but again, the structure is still bullish. So, I mean, if you were trading on here, on that day on Friday, the market took out previous daily low with the Asian low, aligned bullish. So there is your absolutely textbook long, right there. So there is your trade for London session. Boom, you're done for the day. By the way, this week was absolutely incredible, very profitable week. I didn't do a trading setups breakdown and I'm not going to do it in this video because we have a monthly analysis, but amazing opportunities this week. And as you can see right now, the market is rolling to the upside. So again, two things. I will not exclude the potential bullishness of this market. So again, this market can just continue going up and up and up and then eventually even take out this high. That is technically a weak high on the 4H. But I'm also going to stay open-minded and say, okay, well, monthly candle is bearish. I mean, on daily, we're also bearish. So we can definitely start rolling to the downside as well. So if on the 50-minute, like we start nicely rolling to the downside, I will also be interested for shorts. So again, I'm just giving you like those two outcomes. According to me, there is a lot of... There are a lot of differences between the major timeframes, like monthly is bearish, weekly is bullish, daily is bearish, and then 4-hourly is bullish. Okay, so all of those are kind of misaligned, which means that again, there's a lot of divergence, something is cooking, okay? So what I always say it's good to do is again, focus on structure and follow it until you're wrong. So currently, technically, if I actually ignore everything that I looked on the daily, weekly, and the monthly, and I just jump on the 4H, well, 4-hourly is bullish. So I would have taken a long from here, and then I would continue taking longs as long as the 50-minute goes up, and then if the 50-minute goes down, I can take a short as a counter trend trade. And then, of course, eventually the market could take out the low. So flow with the markets, flow with the daily sentiment, because again, like you can see a great example here. We're bullish, or a great example here. The market took out Asian high, went bearish. Here, we're also bullish on the 4H, but the market just started rolling down and down and down and down and down. So if the intraday session is bearish, then go short. On Friday, we took out daily low, aligned bullish, longs, longs, longs. Here we had a little kind of a deeper pullback, but again, it resulted in longs. So let's not exclude the long bias. Let's keep in mind the short bias, and I'm very curious to see how next week is gonna go with the recent news we had from like Bank of China and the others that are gonna cut on their reserves for the USD. So quite curious how this is gonna go. Let me know in the comments what is your bias for the DXY. Just a very simple bullish or bearish. It will be amazing. All right, let's have a look at Mr. Euro USD, which is pretty much an inversed DXY, right? If I just simply do this, right, this is how the DXY is looking like. Taking liquidity from here, reaction, and right now we're having a bearish candle. So exactly the same with Euro, but in the opposite direction. So yeah, what I can say is that, again, I think we can even look at the 3-monthly time frame, which is the quarterly, that it's absolutely bearish. And right now we're having this very nice pullback leg that actually tapped the 50%. Okay, so we can start expecting shorts on euro, but again, like the most recent price action is telling us something different. We had a very massive push up, we had 1 month of a pullback, and again, we took out the previous monthly low and we printed a bullish candle. So again, this does not contain a lot of information. It could be just like a pullback for the market to eventually drop, or it could definitely be like found some sort of support or demand and then continue to push up. We don't know, right? This is why I don't look too much on the major time frames, because again, okay, let's say the monthly time frame is bearish, right? Well, since there we have been bullish, right now we can continue bullish, until we come right there. So I don't want to miss out on all of these amazing longs just to look at the bearish bias on the monthly, right? So yeah, pretty much again, monthly time frame, nothing much to extract except that we're having a bullish monthly candle, and usually like the market is gonna follow that previous candle. What is really amazing on EU to see though is, unlike the DXY, which actually broke that little supply zone. So if I just quickly show you, there is that supply zone on the DXY that actually got wicked out. EU didn't wick out. It actually held from this higher low formation. And since then, we have been trying to push up towards that weekly high. Okay, so I can actually say that EU makes a lot of sense for it to continue going bullish. Daily time frame also. If we just ignore all of this period right there, because we had like a breakdown, break up, breakdown, then we broke up, well, the market has been bullish. And as you can see this week, in terms of the daily leg, we had this massive push, we had a pullback, kissed the 50%, came on, and almost made a new daily high. So I was quite surprised to see that we didn't take it out. So that's super strange, but it happens, right? So daily is bullish as well. Dropping onto the 4H. What we have on the 4H right now, well, yeah, technically this is our higher low formation right now. So if I just draw it like that, right? And yeah, there's your analysis pretty much. No, so I'm wrong here, a little bit wrong, right? This is internal structure. Why? So let me go back to the basics. Higher high, higher low, higher high, broke the higher low. What caused the break? It's this, according to me. Some of you could say it's this, some of you could say it's this, right? It depends on how you draw structure. To me, on the 4H, it's actually, this is the high. So technically, we are bearish right now, reacting from this guy, and this is why we actually probably did not take this high right there, because this is supposed to be a strong high. But again, this one could be a reaction in order for us to continue breaking higher. So once again, there's kind of this divergence between the time frames. Daily is absolutely bullish, and then right now the hourly, according to me, is bearish. Okay, so quite confusing, but as I said on the Dixie, follow the session's momentum. I mean, on Friday, we weren't bullish. We were absolutely bearish on the whole Friday. So why would you take longs, right? Here on Thursday, we were absolutely bullish. We took the long right there. The market didn't pull back for a long right there, but the absolutely insane trade right there. So we took profits early on this trade. We took profits early. The market massively rocketed. Would have resulted in like a very big trade. But again, let's not target those big trades. Take your profits and run away. Here as well, took out Asia, aligned bullish, absolutely beautiful long right there as well. So it has been providing amazing long opportunities right there. So why would you short even if you're bearish on the 4H? Okay, so with that being said, I'm always keeping an open mind. Okay, so hourly time frame is bearish right now, but again, also I want to show you a pattern that we discussed in our weekly webinars. Right, so if you just zoom in a little bit, zoom out actually, have a look at this bearish move right here. It got recovered. Have a look at this massive bearish move. It got recovered. Have a look at this massive bearish move right there. It got broken. Have a look at this massive bearish move. What do you think is going to happen? So do you see the pattern? We have a lot of inefficient pricing, which is very fast pricing selling off, and very nice efficient pricing breaking the high. Massive sell off, nice efficient pricing, potentially to break out the high, but it did not. So again, I have my suspicions, is this the right word? I suspect that the market could potentially go on and take out this high, but if it just turns bearish right now, I'm gonna short the hell out of it, right? So keep in mind, this is internal, because again, if you just draw your structure, that is your high. that later turn into a low. Okay, so that is your major range. High, lower low. This could potentially be a lower high so that we can go on and take out the low. So again, guys, flow with the market. It's not perfect. This is why I don't stay too much on the higher time frames, and I mainly focus to catch that intra-session move. Like London, try to see, okay, where is the market gonna go this session, so I can catch my pips and then call it a day. Okay, so that's EU. Again, monthly time frame, bullish overall. Well, it's actually bearish because we don't have a shift to structure. So bearish monthly, weekly bullish, daily bullish, right? And then hourly bearish. So there is a lot of divergence, so we cannot really get like a high probability direction. So again, let me know in the comments what are your thoughts on EU. I'm personally going to be seeing how it's going to respond from this level. If it starts turning bullish, then of course we can go long. If it breaks below and then starts going short, we can definitely go for this low. And of course, this depends a lot on the news and how the economy is going to take all of the kind of news we're currently being released. So let's see. Let's have a look at Euro Yen. So as you know, the yen pairs have been really tough to figure out, but let's try to keep it simple. What is the monthly time frame doing? It broke structure right there. What caused the break of structure? It's this guy. We came back, reacted, actually formed kind of a morning star formation. This month, we came all the way down and then closed where we opened. So an indecision candle, but I like the candle because the wick on the bottom is bigger, which means that there was a lot of rejection and a lot of demand coming from the bottom. So again, I can say that monthly is overall bullish. Dropping onto the weekly, well, same thing. Okay, so this is monthly demand, but actually the weekly demand was right there. And surprisingly, we did not break. So if you can see the low, I'm looking right there. The low on this candle is 137.365, 137.388. So this low right there is higher than this one, so it hasn't been broken. Like you can see, if you zoom in, it's actually higher. So again, this to me is not a break. It respected the zone. And then technically weekly is bullish, monthly is bullish. So I mean, everything says that we're bullish. And look at this weekly candle, massive recovery to the upside. Okay, so what I can say is that Euro Yen looks definitely bullish. But then you zoom in on the daily and it kind of gets a little bit tough. Right, so broke structure here to the upside, then broke structure down. Massive candles, massive wicks, looks like a Star Wars candles right there. I mean, it's very hard to read. Where is our... Yeah, so okay, let's focus. So there was a break of structure down there. There was a break of structure right there. What caused the break? It's this guy. We tapped inside, massive run. A new break of structure right there. What caused it? It's this. Okay, so daily. So guys, okay, so this is the first pair. Monthly bullish, weekly bullish, daily bullish. So hourly is probably going to be turning bearish right now, but we know that overall the macro bias is bullish. Okay, but again, keep in mind that this is, for example, our daily range right now. So we can expect for the FOH to go a little bit down before it shifts up. So let's actually zoom in to see what's happening. So this is not valid. Okay, so actually the hourly, according to me, is still bullish. Okay, so give me a second. Yeah, so that is the break, the high. Yeah, so that is the break, and this is my, oops, that's my major high low. So let's make it bold just to see it. Okay, there's our hourly range. If you want to take a zone, there it is, right? So first thing on Monday, I'm gonna be looking for taking a long trade right there on Euro Yen. What you have to see first though is the 50-minute grab some liquidity, give you an alignment, take out Asian low, boom, 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 take the liquidity, give you a nice bullish TC, and then for example taking a long. So this is a really good looking pair right now. Again, it depends on kind of the economic kind of drivers. Maybe something happens, the market just massively plummets, we don't know. But in terms of technicals, Euro Yen is bullish on every single time frame we covered. Okay, so monthly, weekly, daily, and even the FOH. Okay, so let's see. Very high probability area right there to be looking for trades. I'm going to be looking for longs on Euro Yen. But again, guys, keeping an open mind, because if you remember, EU could actually go short. So if EU goes short, it's going to drag Euro Yen together with it, and it could be hard for Euro Yen to make another push up. So let's see, but I'm overall having like this bullish outlook on Euro USD because it has been bullish for 5 days. Well, not 5, 4 days last week, except on Friday. So I get a feeling that we might actually have a bullish euro. So let's see. All right, next on the list are the Aussies. Let's have a look what we have right there. So this one is also a little bit tricky. Depends on how we look at the monthly structure. So here we have a break of structure up. Then it depends if you have a break of structure up here, but yes, you definitely have. And then of course we have an alignment bearish right there, and then you can see here we kind of broke up, but then we immediately aligned down. So this could be a prime example of a liquidity grab, right? You can see actually this was supposed to be a strong high, but the market came and took it out, massive rejection lower, and then we eventually ended up breaking. So then this becomes the lower high, and pretty much, yeah, since then we have been pushing down. So again, it really depends on how you look at structure right now, because if I zoom in, you can say that this is your lower high, you can say that this is your lower high, but again, it really depends. I don't have rules for drawing my valid lower highs and higher lows on the monthly time frame. So I'm definitely gonna take this one, for example, because it's the most kind of conservative. Okay, so we can say that overall on the monthly time frame, the Aussie is bearish. And as you can see, as we pull back towards the 50%, we grab liquidity above this high. We printed a massive, almost an engulfing candle last month, and then this month we have kind of a little bit of a bullish signal coming in from the bottom of the candle. It's a nice rejection from the downside, but again, as you can see on the monthly time frame, usually I cannot extract a lot. So then I usually always gravitate towards the foliage because it contains the most information. What I really like about the Aussie is that it also aligned bearish on the weekly. So again, monthly bearish, weekly is bearish right now. The major lower high on the weekly is this. Well, this is not a lower high because that's actually it was a higher high, and then we broke down. So this is our major high. You can be expecting a lower high and then potentially for the market to continue going down. Okay, what we have also right there is a little bit of a base. So that's a little bit of a base weekly supply. It's not very strong because it's not like in the premium of the range. Like you can see, if this is our range, this one is around 30%, right, of the overall range. So it's not the best, but it could definitely cause the market to reverse down. So again, weekly is bearish. And again, if you just drop on the daily, I do think the daily is also bearish. Yeah, staying from this high to this low, kind of tapping, reacting, tapping, reacting, tapping, reacting again. So it just feels like it actually might break at the end. But yeah, so kind of tough to figure out. There's little details that there was actually a breakdown right there, which then immediately caused a breakup. But again, this is a kind of a very wicky situation right here. So I can still keep the weekly / daily supply on. But yeah, then if I just transfer on the foliage, well, look at this. Right, so if you just open this chart and you're like, okay, let's do an analysis today. Well, it's an overall consolidation. Like the first thing that comes to mind, we're chopping, right? And then of course you can start zooming in and say, okay, well, there is a break of structure up right there. There we had a break of structure down right here. And then technically, let's check it out. Okay, so this is not valid. Okay, so there is no break. So technically, Aussie, similar to EU, is still trading within this range. Okay, so this is our high, this is our low, and the market kind of pulled back above 50%, reacted, failed, pushed again, reacted, failed, pushed again, reacted, failed, boom, boom, boom. It does all of that stuff, and it fails to like pick a clear direction. So again, you can see overall on the daily, we're chopping around, and for the time frame, you can clearly see that we are also failing to pick up a good direction. Why? Let me take you to the economic calendar. Interest rate decision Tuesday, and the RBNZ interest rate on Wednesday. So definitely, guys, don't trade the Aussie too much on Monday, right? It's just cooking up right now. Monday is going to be probably really choppy before the interest rate. So what I'm going to say is wait for the interest rate and then let's see what's going to happen. Because you can see on the foliage, it has been cooking for a while. Like it came in, created a consolidation, took it out, took the bottom. Right now it's again creating a consolidation, so it's gonna take the high, take the low. It's gonna be a mess. Okay, so I'm not gonna be actually throwing any sort of analysis. What I'm gonna say is that all timeframes are bearish, and again, if the interest rate is gonna support that bearishness, then we can definitely go short. However, we're expected to hike the rate from 3.6 to 3.85, and usually a rate hike is bullish for the currency. Okay, but if the dollar drops, then Aussie, I mean, yeah, it can go both sides, so don't try to predict too much. Hourly high, hourly low, all of this is internal. I usually hate this price action because we're not having like a clear trend, and what you just have to do every single day is go with the current session's momentum. Okay, so I'm not gonna throw any outlooks right there because I simply don't know, and making predictions before interest rates is not a good thing. Okay. Aussie JPY could be a little bit better, could be a little bit bullish. If we just have a look right there. So currently we're about to tap into this massive kind of monthly big range. We haven't really tapped inside, so this is like the whole area. You can refine it to this, you can refine it to this. Again, it's your choice. What we also have right there is this break of structure up, and then we have a monthly reversal down. So if I really zoom in on the structure, I can say that the monthly is actually bearish on this. We made a lower low, lower high, and guess what we did this month? We just made a new lower low, and we're going to close like this. So this turns into the major monthly lower high. Dropping onto the weekly has the same range as the monthly, right? Lower high, lower low, and this weekly candle actually made the pullback. So what I can see is that, again, Aussie was bearish, Aussie USD, and Aussie JPY is also bearish. So the overall outlook for the Aussies is bearish, but if the DXY starts to plummet, those guys are gonna rock it. Okay, so don't be too fast to put a direction on the market. There is a daily bullish alignment right there, because this was the last daily break right here. So this is the bullish daily. What caused it? It's this. So the daily is currently bullish, and then the 4 hourly is probably going to be aligning bearish anytime soon. Well, no, this is the last valid break, and that is our last valid demand. The market kind of tested it once, tested it twice, testing it 3 times right now, taking the liquidity that is resting below these lows right here. So again, first thing in the morning on Monday, we can be looking at if the market is actually going to give us a bullish 50-minute alignment and maybe take some longs. But again, as I told you guys on the Aussie, don't trade before interest rate decision. Okay, because it's going to chop around, it's going to do some funky stuff, you're going to take some stop losses, you're going to take stop loss on the interest rate decision as well, and your week is going to go to hell. So don't do stupid stuff, okay? But yeah, bearish on the monthly, bearish on the weekly, daily just aligned bullish as a part of that, because again, in order for the market to come back and retest this weekly and monthly zone, it has to turn bullish on the weekly and it has to turn bearish on the 4H. That is normal. Okay, so hopefully we can have like a couple of hourly legs up, then we can form that trend change down, and then of course we can start targeting a new monthly and weekly lower low. But again, this could happen around middle of the month, and I don't like forecasting in terms of months and in terms of weeks, because my focus is to forecast the day, not the week and the month. Okay, so those are the Aussies, right? I'm having an overall kind of a bearish macro bias, but kind of the most recent momentum has been bullish. Aussie dollar definitely not clean. Aussie JPY has been having this very nice bullish momentum. This is the last higher low formation, so let's see if it holds. If not, then we're just gonna wait for the interest rate and then adapt to whatever happens. Let's break down the NZDs starting from NU. So what we have right there is we had an alignment right there. That was the COVID price action, aligned bullish, went into the highs. And then it really depends on how you look at things, okay? So it really depends if this, according to you, was a higher low formation to be broken, or if this is actually the major low that actually caused the major alignment, okay? So those are the 2 main things you have to consider, okay? Let's kind of look at both ways. If this is the major low, we came back, we respected it. As you can see, we're massively reacting from it. So we can say that the monthly time frame has made the pullback, right? And it took the market 11 bars, so that's 11 months to push the market up, and then it took the market 18 bars to pull back. Okay, so definitely the momentum to the upside was bigger than the momentum to the downside. Okay, and right now we're having a massive kind of expansion coming in from that demand. The other thing you can say is that there is a break of structure right there, and this is what caused the break of structure, and then this becomes your monthly range. So we're above the 50% right now, and we could start rolling down. So you can see why, like, you also need specific rules on the higher time frames to say like, okay, this is really the trend right now, because you can look at it the 2 ways. So let's zoom in on the weekly. So what I like about a weekly is that it's actually bearish. So again, the weekly time frame, the bearish monthly scenario is right now looking a little bit better, because if the monthly is actually bearish, above the 50%, took out this high as liquidity, okay, this high held, and aligned bearish on the weekly. Okay, so currently the weekly high is technically this guy. We can make it even bigger if you wish. Like we can take something like this, because this engulfing candle engulfed both of those candles, right? So this could be your weekly supply. And then you can see for around 4 to 5 weeks, we have been chopping around right there. So not very clean price action. And then if you jump on the 4H, well, look at this, right? I mean, the 4H, the 4H has been really nice. because it was this guy that caused an alignment right there. Okay, so that there is a four-hourly break. This is why I love the four-hourly, because it's always so clean. Did we had a break right there? We had a break right there. It sucks. Okay, that break sucks because then this means technically we were bearish right there, and I was just getting happy that the market was overall bullish, right? But then you can see we aligned bullish again. What caused the bullish break? It's overall this big guy. We came back, respected it, and what we did is we went on and made a new higher high. Okay, so then what caused this higher high? It's this guy. The market tapped inside, and guess what it did? It went on and made a new higher high. So I mean, look at this kind of push, pull back, push, pull back, push, pull back. Very clean, very nice, very textbook, I would even say. Right now we had this breakout structure. What caused this breakout structure? In this case, it's this guy right there. So that's our range. And there is a base demand right there, but this, according to me, is not the valid higher low range, right? So the market came in, reacted very nicely, and right now it's pulling back, and the 50-minute is looking a little bit funky. So it actually broke structure down there, came back, rejected from this. So currently the 50-minute is bearish, and in order for you to take a long trade, you need to for the 50-minute to become bullish, okay? Which is only gonna become if you break above here, or if you take out the low and then give a bullish alignment, right? So I would even kind of defer from making any outlooks on this one, because as you know, on Wednesday next week we're having interest rate decision for Bank of New Zealand as well, paired with the Aussie interest rate decision. So it might get ugly, right? But again, so far the 4-hourly time frame has been absolutely bullish, making new ranges, respecting, coming all the way back to the extremes, and then again, I would actually advise you to go on your 50-minute and see how could I have entered right there, how could I have entered right there, how could I have entered right there, right? In order, and then how could I have entered on the continuations, right? Do your homework. So that's the NZD bullish bias right now. The major higher low is right there. So let's see if it responds from this. If it breaks, then if it responds from this, and let's see how the interest rate decision is gonna impact this overall price action. And again, monthly time frame could be looked as bearish, could be looked as bullish. What happens to me is what the market is doing right now. And again, the higher time frame for the right now situation is the 4-hourly time frame. You can even do hourly, but hourly gets a little bit too much into kind of scalping. So yeah, that's NZD bullish bias right now. Let's see what happens between those two areas. And yes, probably NJ is gonna be slightly bit bullish than bearish. Very tough price action right here on the monthly, right? So you can see wicks, it went up, down, went up, down. It's really tough to read, but again, if I really zoom in, there is like a little break structure right there, and then technically this is our low, which just got broken. I mean, it just got broken. We're having a reaction from it, so it looks like the monthly time frame is technically bearish, but I would use the weekly, and because the weekly could look a little bit better. But yes, so here it was when we took out the high, and then we aligned bearish right there, and then yes, then we made this pullback, which was within the 50% right here. Then we broke structure down on the weekly, and then technically this is our weekly supply, and then the weekly lower high, and then weekly supply. So similar to like the AJ we had a look at, exactly the same price action overall. We have a nice push down. The market is currently pulling back. It's aligned bullish right there because we had a breakout structure right here, and it's tapping into the supply. So what you have to wait for right now, if you are bearish bias overall, we have to wait for the 4-hourly to turn bearish, right? And then to take a high probability short. Why? Because right now we're bullish, and this is our higher low formation. There it is. And yes, so technically right now I would be looking for longs on NJ. Hopefully pull back right there, then come inside this zone. You can be safely looking for this high to be attacked as liquidity, because the market usually likes to grab liquidity within zones. And if you again study the liquidity lesson, what is this? That's structural liquidity. That's an old supply. A lot of people were shorting from here. Where do they have their stop loss? Above right there. So that could be an amazing target to potentially follow with this amazing bullish trend right there. Again, just to give you an example, right? So what we have right there, supply, the market taps in, reacts, and then it just breaks it. Okay. So let's see, this is my very simple outlook on NJ. I am bullish bias. I'm also bullish bias on NZD/USD based purely on technicals, but I keep on the back of my mind that we're having interest rate decision next week. So again, don't get your hopes too high. When we look at UJ, it's pretty much the same kind of price action as with the DXY. We're having a massive bullish run. Right now we're having a massive pullback. We took some liquidity. We printed a bullish candle, and then this month is a yeah, it's a bearish candle that just to me studying the candle anatomy does not tell me too much. We took out the previous weekly high, we rejected, we went bearish, we are rejected from the downside again. It's an overall bearish candle, which means that the overall month was bearish. But again, it does not tell me like a lot of bearishness, or it doesn't even tell me a lot of rejection coming from the downside. So again, monthly time frame, well, what I can see on the month is that it's bullish. It's definitely bullish, but again, that does not serve me too much because I care, okay, how do I take a trade today by analyzing the monthly, right? So then we drop to the weekly. Weekly time frame, as I told you last time, it's still bearish. So there's the weekly lower high, supply, the market came in, rejected, and again, it has been 4 weeks that we reject, and only this week we got a little bit of a pullback. So again, in terms of the weekly, the market is still bearish. And again, in order for the market to go with the bullish monthly bias, well, the weekly also has to change. But first, the daily is gonna change, right? The daily changed right there, right? So we went bullish, but here we aligned bearish, so we made lower low. Yeah, so here we didn't even have a lower high, but there we have a new lower high, definitely. So lower high, and then we just on Friday, we took out this major daily high. Okay, so technically the daily shifted bullish, demand right there, and demand right here. So which one do you take? This is your decision. I'm just gonna say that again, based on my 4-hourly rules, I'm just gonna utilize it on the daily as well, that this could be the daily higher low formation. So daily has aligned bullish, and probably the 4-hourly time frame is also going to be a little bit bullish. But again, in order for the market to make a daily pullback towards the zones, the 4-hourly has to change. Okay, so if we just zoom in on the 4H, let's see what we have right there. So broke up, and then we started massively rolling up. So yeah, this one is pretty much, this whole thing is the range in this case, because we broke up, but then we held from this guy, but then it didn't create a valid range. Yeah, I'm just speaking to myself just to make sure that I share the right information. This is the demand overall, and this is our major higher low formation. So similar to all the JPY pairs, right? UJ is also currently bullish on the 4H. It's making a new daily high. So again, I have my reservations that we might turn bearish in order to pull back towards the daily zones, and then maybe shift the market to bullish on the 4H and then attack the daily high. Okay, but of course the best bet will be to actually go long from this 4-hourly demand. So what your task is right now is to observe like how the 50-minute is going to act within that demand zone on the 4H. Okay, so very simple analysis on UJ. Again, I mean, the weekly is bearish, but daily and the 4-hourly are bullish right now. So maybe the market is going to come and pull back towards these zones right there, or maybe it's just it wants to give us like a 50% pullback in terms of that recent push, which we're just about to do. If you also study like the waves, well, we already made 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could start getting the ABC, or maybe even a reversal. So again, guys, a lot of things could happen. This is why you always flow with the most recent price action, because the most recent price action is going to tell you who is in control right now, so that you actually take a high probability trading decision. So that's UJ right now, bullish on daily, bullish on the 4-hourly, most importantly, looking to see how it's going to respond from this demand zone. And if it breaks it, I'm going to turn bearish, and I'm going to take a short, riding it into the daily demand. So USD CAD is rather confusing on the monthly time frame, because again, it has that little thing of, right, what is the valid structure? So the main question is this valid right there, or is this the one that actually is the major? Because here we definitely had a higher low that was broken right there, right? But then if you track it back, was it this that actually caused the break, or was it this? Okay, and this depends on how you draw your higher lows and higher highs. Okay, and I don't have rules for the monthly, so again, I have to be taking like both examples into consideration. If it's the bullish example, there we have demand. If it's the bearish, there we have supply. Okay, so the supply is not entirely clean. So maybe if you drop to the quarterly, no, 2 months, yeah, well, the wick got a little bit better, but so yes, then let's drop on the week. The weekly time frame, according to me, again, if you don't consider this to be a break and this to be a trend change down, which could definitely be the case, right? And then this becomes your supply, and you can see why the market is right now selling off. So there are a lot of variables right now in terms of UCAT. And again, you have to be really sure, okay, how do I draw structure and what are my rules for drawing structure, right? And I teach this in my private community. We have a very specific way of marking like 4H and 50-minute structure and 1 minute, because those are the time frames we trade, okay? So you can see here, like the monthly could be bullish, it could be bearish, right? The weekly right now could be bullish, but it could also be bearish based on this, right? So again, we have to take both into mind. So it came in, reacted from supply, massively selling off right now. So where is the next target? It's this, right? And I have been calling actually this one to get broken because the market tapped, failed to push. And then on this pullback, I was pretty confident that it could take out this low, but it did not. And right now it went into supply. It actually utilized this as liquidity. And right now, and right now it can go on and take this as liquidity. So let's see. I'm curious to see what happened on this week that the market was massively bearish. And as you can see right now on the daily time frame, the more we start to zoom in, the more we see who is currently in control. Daily went massively up. Then usually your cat starts to chop around. And right now we're having a break of structure down. Okay. What caused it? Come on. It's this guy. What's happening with my mouse? It's this guy, and this is our major daily lower high. And right now we are absolutely extended to the downside. So what we had is 5 consecutive bearish days. So something's happening with the cat. And I think we had a couple of news next week for cat. Yeah, we definitely have a couple of news for cat. So yeah, I see this very nice recent bearish momentum. And then again, this price action, I don't know how you trade this price action, but then as the market kind of makes a manipulation and then it just starts rolling and rolling and rolling. So your only chance is like to follow massively like the 15-minute time frame down. So even if I zoom in right now, wow. All right, so again, it depends on how you look at that structure, but this forward high could be actually the major forward high if you don't take like this into consideration, if you don't take this, if you don't take this as well. So rather tricky, right? But if we just take the most recent ones, this is the most recent one. The market tapped, massively rejected, so we're already headed towards breaking a new and making a new forward leg down. So you can right now, just looking at the daily, it's absolutely extended, so continuing to take shorts could not be a great idea, right? But it can also just continue to drop massively. So let's see how it works out. I'm very curious to see if this one breaks, because if this one breaks, then this is going to turn into the major lower high formation. And then eventually, in order for the daily to start making a pullback, we got a line first bullish on the Forex and then take a couple of longs on the way up. Okay, so UCAT, it's always been a gray area and a gray pair for me because it does not work great with how I trade. So I don't trade it though. But this is how I currently look at it. Massively bearish, and again, just with the macro perspective, we can be headed to take all the way out those lows all the way down. So let's see. But again, first of all, this is the daily high, this is the daily low. We can turn bullish in order to pull back towards the 50%, and then we can start initiating a new short again. So this is how I see at UCAT overall. Look at UCAT. Let me know, guys, in the comments what you think. Are we going to continue bearish this week? Are we going to make a pullback week overall? Let me know. All right, let's break down the pound pair starting from GU. So pretty much on the monthly time frame, it is safe to say that we are bearish, right? So we made this massive leg down, and according to me, just to be precise, this is the monthly lower high. But again, I mean, we reached, I think it was all-time lows, right? So pretty much the pound came to parity, almost to parity with the dollar, which is insane because usually like the pound is one of those stronger currencies, right? Not stronger, but it has a bigger value than the other ones. So very strange. But again, since then we have been very nicely recovering. But as you can see, for 4 months, we have moved in a range of 600 pips, which is not a lot for GU. I mean, it for 1 month it dropped 700 pips. So you know that we have been overall consolidating. All right, dropping on the weekly time frame. Well, weekly broke up here, broke down here. We have been breaking this down every single week, and currently we're tapping into weekly supply that just looks like it wants to break. It came in, reacted, but all those weekly candles are closing bullish, so there is a lot of bullishness coming in. Why? Well, potentially interest rate. So on the 23rd of March, 4.25% from 4, right? So 25 basis points on the pound this week. So pretty good, right? And then if we just zoom in on the Forex, which is our main time frame, yeah, are we on the Forex? Yeah, I always skip the daily. What did we do? So yeah, daily is bullish since here, break of structure up there, break of structure up there. Where is the major daily range? Right there. Okay, so daily has been extremely bullish right there, and I think that if we were gonna reverse, we should have probably reversed by now, or maybe the market was seeking some structured liquidity that was taken precisely right there. So right now, if the forward time frame aligns bearish, then we can take a short with kind of a slightly bit of a high probability. But again, like the most recent higher low is here, technically on the Forex, so we're technically still bullish. And yeah, I mean, the GU, I don't trade GU, it's always tricky to trade, but I can see there was a massive long right there. Was this week? Yeah, Tuesday 21st, yeah, massive push up. And then technically, yeah, this was not valid, but then we broke up, then we broke down, and then we broke up again. So kind of, yeah, shifting a lot of the market structure on the Forex. But again, just to come to the most recent price action, this is how I look at it. Push, pullback, bullish market right now, about to tap into demand. I mean, you can go to the 8 hourly and maybe take a bigger demand. No, it's pretty much the same. 7 hours. Yeah, so on the 7 hours, you can take this guy because these two candles were engulfed by the previous one. So yes, I mean, it's bullish on the 4-hourly time frame. It's bullish on the daily as well. The only thing is that we're tapping into this massive weekly supply. So is this going to give us some shorts? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. So let's see. I mean, if we tap inside this zone, I'm going to be looking for the 15-minute time frame to align. And if it aligns, I'm going to take a long. If we break below, then we're probably going to have a pullback, lower high, and then potentially a continuation down. So again, nothing much to be seen on GEO right now. So we just got to patiently wait, of course, and see. GJ is probably more bullish than bearish. Again, on GJ, you know that the monthly time frame is very simple. That's the weekly. Yeah, well, pretty much the monthly is the same as the weekly. Right, that's the higher low on the monthly, and then on the weekly, it's pretty much the same. Push, pullback, tapped it right there, and then since then we have been trying to kind of push to the upside, but it's a very corrective, right? And then if you drop on the daily, well, the daily aligned exactly right there, and then it started doing some fun stuff, right? So broke up here, then broke down right there. Then this was a break definitely, and then this is a breakup. So currently the market has aligned bullish on the daily. That is our major daily higher low formation, and probably right now the 4-hourly is just in the push phase, or it's probably shifting down in order to provide a pullback in terms of the daily. So let's see. Well, in fact, no. This is still similar to all the other pairs. This is still the higher low formation, right? So as long as we stay above this guy, where we're technically should be longing, okay? And yeah, so if we TC down on this one, if we make a trend change, lower high formation, break the structure down, lower high, and then continue to trade it lower. And then this is pretty much the second scenario. If we hold from this demand and continue to push up with the overall 4-hourly direction. So let's see. I mean, daily is bullish, 4-hourly is bullish. This is what I want to see, and like the most recent price action. So I'm going to be overall bullish on those pairs. Can GU take out this major weekly high? Definitely it could, because again, this one is what I have found out is that, yeah, sure, weekly is bearish, but then the market kind of goes higher lows, creating higher lows all the way, and then it just breaks it. And you're like, it was bearish. Why did it break? Well, because the most recent price action is bullish. Higher low, high, right? It just keeps pushing up and up and up. So again, this is why you have to follow this and ignore what is happening on the left. Okay, so those are the GBPs. Overall, both are bullish. Let's see how they play out. And again, make sure to wait for confirmation and follow the 15-minute. Let's have a look at gold. So monthly time frame on gold is definitely bullish. I mean, this is a commodity. It's an asset. So usually the monthly time frame is going to be bullish, right? Very rarely it's gonna change bearish, but then of course eventually it's gonna align bullish and continue climbing in value. We had this very nice sell-off right there on the monthly time frame, tapping into 50%, tapping into overall base demand. I'm very curious if this is gonna work right there. Yeah, so look at that, just kind of playing with volume profile. You can see if you draw this overall push, like you can see where the volume is, like around this kind of area, right? And this is pretty much where we came in and respected. So very nice to see that we actually have this right there. So yeah, I mean, gold, especially right now, it definitely makes sense for it to go up, especially if the dollar starts to plummet right now. Massive monthly engulfing candle. So that is great. Weekly higher high, which is amazing. Daily bullish, which is also great. And yeah, pretty much the daily higher low is actually here. Right, so that's the daily higher low. So we need to we need to break this guy right there in order for this to become the daily higher low. So I mean, every time frame is bullish. Every time frame is bullish on gold. The 4H is, however, a little bit tricky right now. You can see that it's starting to chop around. This is how I look at it, right? This is how I look at it last week, and I just continue to look at it like this week because we haven't made much of a change. we rejected from this guy. And again, depending on how you look at structure, this here, according to you, could be a trend change right there. So then this becomes your supply. But then according to me, we're still bullish on this pair. And we're chopping around, so it's also waiting for something. Maybe investors in gold are waiting to see how the dollar is going to react to the recent news, and then to see if they can put more money in, or maybe withdraw more money from gold, put in the dollar. But yes, I mean, it's bullish. The problem is, exactly right now, it's not in a very good place to be traded in terms of Forex, because it's kind of chopping around in the middle, right? And then of course 15 minutes is your best time frame. Asian range took out Asia, massively went down, then kind of wicks up again here, bullish day, right? I don't trade gold. I try to look at it, but I just don't trade it. It's way too aggressive for me. It moves way too fast, and I don't like fast, right? I usually like more slow and controlled pairs. This is just who I am, and this is what works for me. So yeah, I mean, gold, the analysis doesn't change. Everything is bullish. So I mean, bullish is always going to be a best bet. But again, what really matters for all of us is what is going to happen today. Okay. So stay tuned for Tuesday, in which we're going to have a look at how the market has been developing on Monday and what we can do on Tuesday. But again, be careful within this whole range right there. Okay, just be careful, because again, this is our major high low, and where is actually good to be buying is here, right? Or it's good to be selling right there. If you are in the middle, then don't diddle in the middle, right? So that's gold for me. Let me know, guys, what you're going to be looking for. But again, pretty much I just pass on it until we get into a high probability, high time frame area to be buying or selling. Let's have a look at some indices, which are rather confusing right now. I mean, we were expecting for the markets to continue to drop, but this doesn't look like the case. Again, in terms of like the massive monthly time frame, we still haven't reached the 50%, you can see, but we came to react from this very nice area, which again, if you use that volume profile tool, which I sometimes like using, yeah, there it is, like from the low to the high. And now you can see this is pretty much where kind of the volume is, right? This little area. We didn't kind of tab the volume, the point of control right there, but this is where the volume was. So this is where the market is currently reacting from. 2 massive months right there. Right now we have 4 months of a kind of a pullback. Okay, so I see stocks are actually doing pretty good. I mean, the economy, inflation, everything could be high, but it looks like people are still spending money. Companies are still making money, right? Massive weekly leg right there this week, so very, very, very bullish. And yeah, the daily time frame is probably also gonna change anytime soon. So you can see, yeah. So this is pretty much the weekly. No. So the weekly high is currently this guy, right? Because since we broke to the lows right there, this is where we respect. So this is the weekly high. So I maybe have to mark them up. So weekly high, and then again, then this turns into our daily high. So right now we have to see if our daily lower high is gonna form. But just looking at the last candle, just looking at how the market is coming into the zone, it doesn't look like it wants to hold. US30 also provide. I took a couple of profitable trades on US30, by the way. So I had to do a trading setups breakdown maybe tomorrow. I have to make it a habit to be making trading setups breakdowns like on Thursday or Friday, right? Let me know, guys, if you actually want this. And yeah, so currently the Forex is absolutely bullish. I mean, what I can say about it, there was a structure break right there, and then technically, let me just see if they're so are they equal. Okay, so 5, so this actually went higher. Okay, so technically our high low is here. Right now, I don't think, no, this one was not valid. Okay, so this is our fall high low and just a massive expansion. So again, demand is here, but you also have this overall area as demand, which is actually going to be the better choice to take this whole area. And yeah, what I can say, it's just a massive push. Longs are high probability, but we're in a daily supply. Okay, so be careful. Be careful. You can even go right now and refine it all the way like this, because right now everything right there is taken. So this is kind of the last resort we're going to be encountering right now. So curious to see if from here we get like a 15-minute TC, I would be really happy to go short. But again, I will always keep in mind that very nice bullish momentum. All the indices are like this. I mean, Nasdaq had one of its best weeks or one of its best months since a lot of time. I mean, look at this monthly candle. That is a 13% push. Right, and we're looking for drops. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's still coming into that monthly supply, so we're still bearish on the monthly. Weekly is also still bearish, so monthly and weekly range are the same, right? So we're still staying within this supply. Right now we can make the supply a little bit smaller, right? Because we can see that this one did not react. So right now we're coming in at the highs. And yeah, I just want to make sure that the weekly is bearish. It definitely is, but then the daily was a problem. And what I told you last week is we're going to have like a battle between supply and demand, because daily was bullish from here, but 4H, I think 4H was, 4H had a trend change down here. Okay, so the market pullback, tapped it, boom, boom, boom. At the end of the day, we actually ended up taking out the week low, which was right there, so creating a 4-hourly structure break, but we tapped into daily supply, and then we came in and we aligned bullish on the 4H, but by the time we aligned bullish on the 4H, it was too late, and the market just started to massively expand into the highs. So yes, right now we're tapping inside this zone. The last 4-hourly break is right there. This is our last 4-hourly demand zone, right? This is our last 4-hourly higher low formation. So let's see how it works out. I mean, I'm very confused with indices because I didn't buy any stocks. Like in March and February, I haven't bought any stocks at all because I'm looking for the market to drop, but it just keeps pushing up. Like if you look at S&P, yeah, this one was a good buy right there, but again, it's not a good buy in terms of the macro picture, because if I zoom on the monthly time frame, like this is where I want to be buying, down there. I don't want to be buying at 4K. I want to be buying around like 37, 35, and even below. But again, is the market gonna go there? We don't know. So right now we're still tapping inside this monthly supply zone, weekly supply zone, right? It came in first. No, this is still the range was being made. First time reacted, second time reacted, right? And right now it's coming in for a third time. So is the third time going to be the charm? Well, we don't know. But what we see right here is that the daily time frame actually aligned bullish. So if I just remove all of this stuff, the daily time frame is right now bullish. Just make this. Come on. D1. So daily time frame aligned bullish. What caused the bullish alignment? Well, it's pretty much this is the low. That's the low on the daily. And then if you drop on the 4H, pretty much, yeah, you're going to have like similar to NASDAQ. Most recent higher low formation right there. And yeah, what you can do, well, you can just go long. You can be looking for a market to kind of get inside this supply again. Right now we can refine the supply to this because it's already been tapped right there. So if it actually goes above this high, that's going to be liquidity. We also have liquidity right there. So we can be looking for those levels to get tapped again and then maybe get a short. We don't know, right? To me, it doesn't make sense. But again, we can start dropping anytime soon. And if I just take you like to the fear and greed index, we're back at neutral, right? So we were at extreme fear a couple of weeks ago. So there it is, extreme fear, right? And right now we're starting to kind of climb higher. So what I told you is usually in order to have a bearish market, we need to see a very nice strong close below the 125 MA, a retest and a reaction. This one just broke below March 10th, March 13th, and then it climbed up like March 16th, retested from the other side, and right now it's rolling up again, right? So it doesn't make a lot of sense. We're back into neutral. We're probably going to go travel a little bit towards greed. You can see actually the market momentum is pretty greedy right now. So let's see how it's going to work out. I mean, as long as it pushes up, we can go long in terms of intraday. But again, I only intraday trade US 30. The other ones I'm looking for investing. So to me right now, it's not a good time to invest. So we got to wait. Crypto, again, you know, I don't cover crypto as much. It's still chopping at the top, but a massive engulfing monthly candle. You can see that it's already closed. Massive engulfing monthly candle. Actually making kind of a bullish market structure shift. So a bullish trend change on the monthly, which is a good thing, right? Weekly time frame, massive expansion. So if we happen to pull back towards this monthly demand zone right there, I would be curious to take a long. Right, so do we have any kind of this? Okay, so maybe I'm drawing. I have to. Do you guys have any good resources for Warren profile? Kind of want to study a little bit into it. But yes, so I mean, weekly is bullish. Right now we're about to be pulling back, hopefully, and then we can start taking some longs. But again, as you know, the market tends to consolidate a lot on the crypto and then starts to make like massive moves. So again, be careful and don't trade it when it's making like a big consolidation. So bullish. And also Ethereum is also pretty bullish right now. I mean, monthly time frame. This one cannot make a shift of structure on the monthly time frame because the monthly time frame high is here. So this is why I was really looking forward for this low to be taken and even to buy at the low. I really wanted to buy at 800, but the market still hasn't reached there. So hopefully it does reach. Hopefully something happens, drops to the downside so we can buy some Ethereum. All right, but Bitcoin actually looks a little bit better right now to start being traded. So Guys, this is where I want to wrap it up. Long analysis today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you did. Always hit that like button. Drop me a comment. What is the pair that you're looking for next week? What are you trading? Did you watch the educational videos? Do you have any suggestions for future videos as well? Let me know. I wish you an amazing weekend and talk to you on Tuesday.